For KWXX 101.5 Kona, 94.7 Hilo. Kakahiaka no, good morning family. It's Aloha Monday, right back here with Kat and Kuehu. And as promised, in this, our final hour of the Luau, we mentioned it earlier, but May is Blood Pressure Awareness Month. And we have special guest DJs joining us in studio. We'd like to welcome first to the mic, Program Manager at Community First, Kimberly Lynn. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have my doc in studio, Dr. Mililani Trask-Batti from our Native Hawaiian Family Medicine Ohana at Big Island Healthcare in Hilo. Morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Aloha,
Good
Kakahiaka.
morning. We're stoked. We've been talking off the air and we've been learning more about the importance of health. Health is wealth, as they say. So, Kim, we'll start with you first. Can you tell us about Community First, just briefly, and what all of our listeners out there have to know about this month and what we've been doing?
Thank you, Kuehu.
Sure.
Community First Hawaii is bringing back its Know Your Numbers Blood Pressure Awareness campaign. This is an island-wide campaign from May to July. And we're hoping that everyone can become as familiar with their blood pressure numbers as they are with their own height and weight.
Wow.
All
That's
important
something-
things.
yeah.
Because some people don't check or maybe don't know, which is why it's important to know and to check and to go. Yeah, family. Let's see. What else do we need to know this morning? Island-wide, May through July. Let's bring Doctor to the mic. Doc, can you tell us what makes understanding our blood pressure so important for our health?
Yeah.
What do we need to know, Doc? Yeah.
I think one of the most important things is we don't know when our blood pressure is elevated most of the times. Most people can't feel that. So it's called, the silent killer because we can walk around with elevated blood pressure for years and not know. And that puts us at risk for many things like heart attack, stroke, heart disease. So if you can get in to see your primary care doctor or go to one of these campaigns and get it checked, then we know and we can make changes.
The good news is that blood pressure, hypertension, and we were talking off air about that, is preventable, yeah, and we can all take actions ourselves to keep our blood pressure numbers in check. Can we mention some of those actions for those that may not know? What do we need to do to control it, to get it to a more appropriate number, and more?
Yeah, exactly. So high blood pressure for most people is very preventable. Yeah. So first, know your numbers, make sure we check those numbers. And then the things that we can change, right? So we always talk in primary care about diet and exercise, making sure we get 30 minutes physical activity 5 times a week would be the best. And then, specifically for blood pressure, we want to know like how much salt or sodium we're getting. So you can start reading labels, looking at that, making sure to bring those numbers down, maybe using other flavorings instead of just straight pakai or salt. Yeah. And then other things too, like stress management, making sure we're getting to sleep on time. All those kinds of things will end up affecting your blood pressure throughout
Good
the
to know.
day.
So sleep is important then.
I was
Rest
just
is
gonna
thank
ask
you.
that.
It was on the
I was
same.
just gonna say that. Wait a minute. Sleep? I've never heard of that. Sleep is important. I thought just to be able to be active and coherent, but I didn't realize that sleep plays a part in this too.
Most definitely. I mean, I think of, and I tell my own family this, right? Sleep is when the body gets to, Ho'oponopono itself gets to repair itself. So there's not a perfect amount of sleep. That's a question I get a lot too. Like, does it have to be 8 hours? It's not for everybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as long as we're getting a good amount of sleep, we feel rested in the morning. And, something I hadn't mentioned also, though, that plays into that is certain conditions like sleep apnea. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you're not sleeping well, you're not getting oxygen at night, that's something that we see related to high blood pressure as well. So all things you can talk about with your doc.
Wow. Thank you, Doc. Kim, we want to bring you back to the mic because we were talking off air and we were talking about, back in 2020, the year 2020, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about the KYN campaign and there was an organized screening that took place back in 2020, 4 years ago. Was it true for over 1,000 individuals, you were telling us?
That's
Is
right.
this true? Wow.
That's right,
Wow.
Kuehu. Yeah. We were happy to work with a lot of our local partners, including the fire department, County of Hawaii, UH Hilo nursing students, pharmacy students to put on those screenings. And what we found was really alarming was that more than 40% of those screened had blood pressures that could be considered consistent with the diagnosis of hypertension or elevated above the recommended normal.
Wow.
Wow. Good to know. All good things. All good things. We got our blood pressures checked earlier.
I
Kat.
know
we did
we
it.
did.
It's
We
not like we're
did.
just talking about it and
I was
just throwing
worried.
facts in your face, family. But we did it ourselves. We did it.
Yes, because it's good to know your numbers. You know, usually the average person will only do their blood pressure when they go for a checkup, like once a year. And that's if they go once a year to the doctor. But you never know. And I know my husband was like that. His family, they had hypertension and they don't even know sometimes. Because there's a lot of people that they don't want to go to the doctor because they don't want to know something is wrong. So, and then it's too late when you go for years undiagnosed. So it is important to know your numbers.
Nice. And that's what these next few months are all about. As Doc and Kim were mentioning, anything else we want to get out to our listeners this morning about the campaign, about Community First? Doc, any other tips you can give our Ohana tuning in this morning about blood pressure screenings? Of course, encouraging everybody to go, period. But any other information do we want to get out to our listeners today?
I mean, on my end, I guess, at Big Island Healthcare, our biggest push is to work with our community partners and definitely make our Kaiaulu, our community, feel comfortable coming in to see us. Because, that little bit of prevention goes a long way in terms of preventing illness, life long term. So please come in, get to know us, and I think there's a lot more that we can offer. There's so many things that we can do. And I think that's the number one push I want people to know is that most of this high blood pressure, especially, and most of the conditions I deal with are preventable. There's stuff we can do about it.
Which is a good thing. It's a positive thing, family.
Yes.
Preventable. That's a good word.
Absolutely.
Safe word there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Kim, anything else you want to get out on your end about Community First and what people can expect these next few months?
Yeah, we hope to raise awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and encourage individuals to get to know their primary healthcare provider better and their medical team. We will be organizing on-site blood pressure screenings and providing educational resources at workplaces and public events around the island, as well as on social media.
Love it.
Nice.
Yes.
Trust your professionals. Love your doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't scare them. Go get them, right?
Yeah.
Things we got to hear ourselves too, myself
Right,
included.
right.
So not just we're throwing it in your face, family, but for the education of our lahui and, of course, the wealth of our health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more you know, the better.
There you go. The more you know, the better. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Kim. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Mililani, for joining us this morning, making time out of your guys' busy
I know.
schedules
Thank you.
to come down and join us. And, of course, keeping us healthy and in check, too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, more Feel Good Island music. Last hour of the Luau. We also got our good brother Tracy Niimi in studio. I kind of forget. Hey, Trace. Thank you for coming down too, brother. And we love you folks for listening. More Feel Good Island music coming soon.
Right here on your Feel Good Island Music Station.
We're KWXX.